Hey, how's it going? Michael Douglas James here again. So I want to talk about, 2018 Mustang is right around the corner. The facelift, it looks a little bit different, but you know what? It's been growing on me. So in the previews, they kind of gave us a glimpse at a possibly new Bullitt and a new 302 Boss. But I hear rumors floating around possibly about a new Mach 1, and I want to get into all of that. So for rumors on the Bullitt, right now I almost hear that it may not actually happen. There's a lot of talk going on that the McQueen family is not liking the negotiation offers that they're having. But it's something that, is always up in the air. And honestly, I hope they make one because the movie's a classic. The ones that they've made over the years, throughout the 90s and the 08 version, those were all great vehicles. I'd really love to see them make one on the S550 body. S550 platform, that would be awesome. Now, when it comes to the Boss, there was a Boss kind of preview that was in that. But rumor has it that it may be a Mach 1 instead, which even gets me more excited. And here's my thoughts on that. I would rather have them make a Mach 1 and kind of go every other generation with the Mustang. The Mach, we got, in the first generation, we got both, which was great. I loved them then. Then, in the fourth generation, the S190, the new age Mustangs, not the S197s, the new age Mustangs, the SN95s and new age Mustang, we got a Mach 1 in the early 2000s. Then in the S197s, we had gotten a Boss a couple years back, 2012, 2013, they had made it. All great vehicles, but on my end, I feel like, for that specialty type of Mustang, they should almost go every other generation with it. And I feel like this generation now deserves a Mach 1. I would be happy with either or, but I would be more happy if they brought out a Mach 1 just to bring back that nameplate for this generation before 2021 when the new generation Mustang is supposed to come out. So that would be really cool on that end. Granted, I would love a Boss. I mean, 302 Boss again, that would be awesome. I don't want them to make both though. I think it defeats the purpose and takes away from the nameplate of having that specialty Mustang outside of, your base, then your GT, and then your SVT, which is now under the Shelby nameplate. So basically the Cobras. And I do like how it's going back to the GT500 from the 350, and I feel like every, facelift, they should change that as well. Now, if it comes down to having one of the three, kind of would prefer to have a Mach 1. I feel like out of the Bullitt, I'd love to have that again, and I feel like they should make one every generation. They should, just to keep, that presence from the movie alive. But if it came down to having one of the three, I would prefer if it was under a Mach 1 nameplate. I feel like it would be more valuable to me, and at the end of the day, I feel like it would be more valuable to everybody else, that when the next generation comes out, they can have a Boss again, and so on down the line for years to come. But I feel like at this point, it would become more valuable. The early 2000s Mach 1 was just such a badass killer car, and I'm glad they put that nameplate on it. Then, on the S197s, when they put the 302 Boss nameplate on those in 12 and 13, especially on 12s, the Laguna Seca, what an ugly looking car, but I mean, it's the fact that they did that. That car, a lot of guys that I know who bought them, they bought them just to store in garages. They put it in a garage just to keep later on. Maybe drove it once or twice. They take it out here or there to start it up, but that's about it. And even though the car was pretty ugly, it was so unique, and Ford pushed the limit by making something like that. So I would prefer a Mach 1 nameplate, and I really hope they do that. And as we're getting closer, we know it's not a possibility for 18 probably. Maybe the end of 18 cycle year run, but I can most likely see them releasing this as a 19 or a 20, probably a 19 and a 20, just to get the last 2 years out of it. But having the Mach 1 nameplate on there, bringing it back in this generation, I think would really become a valuable car to it. It would become a collector's item, and the guys who own the earlier Mach 1s from the early 2000s or even first or second generation ones, they can, you know, it's something for them to hold on to, you know, to add to their Mach 1 collections. Now, when we go into the next generation Mustang, I feel like, you know, for the 7th gen, they should definitely then bring back that Boss nameplate. Kind of make it every other year to make them valuable. So almost like that nameplate doesn't just fall beneath the ground and be like, oh, well, they're releasing a Boss again. They're releasing a Boss again. And that is the only reason why I want them to release a Mach 1 instead. So the rumors are spreading all around. There's been rumors saying from a couple Ford execs that we'll probably see a Mach 1 before we see a new Bullitt because of the negotiations going on with the McQueen family, and I understand that. But from the family's perspective, you have to understand that there are a niche group of people who, those are the only Mustangs they buy. And they buy it for the fact that they want to be like Steve. And they want to embody what that movie was to them, and it is such a great movie. So I feel like they should bring that back. They should bring both of them out. But I say Mach 1 over Boss, and that's just my feelings and my thoughts on that. More rumors keep coming out. There were some spy photos of a Mustang, and the wheels on the Mustang, they are wheels. They are not rims. The rim is actually part of a wheel. It's the outer side. I don't like when people call them rims. They were different than what has been seen in the order catalog already, that most dealers have, and that's pretty much been leaked on the internet already. So with that in mind, you know, possibly it could be a Bullitt, or because they're black rims, but maybe a Mach 1 or a Boss. It's hard to tell because it was just a spy photo, but we shall see on that note. So I'm saying Mach 1 for this generation now for at least 19 and 20. Then when we go into the next body style, that's when I want to see a Boss. But until then, you know, let's make the nameplates somewhat valuable and not come out with, you know, generation after generation of just a Boss. Or don't make it both. I prefer one over the other, and that's how I look at it. So on that note, I'm out. Peace out, Girl Scouts.